I just want you all to know that this video was a force, okay? The footage from the phone and stuff, it just wouldn't talk to my computer, and it took me like 2 weeks. I made these meals like 2 weeks ago, okay? This has been a long time coming. Also, I got engaged, so like that took up some time. Hello. That also was a bit of a distraction, so. She's a star, she's a beauty queen. In 2016, a young man by the name Concerned Ape released a life sim, farming sim game called Stardew Valley. The greatest game to ever exist. I freaking love Stardew Valley. I have a map of Stardew Valley on my wall. Look at this, okay? Stardew Valley is a farming simulator where you get to do the things you've always wanted to do in life, like plant crops and give people birthday gifts and get hammered at the bar and ride around on your horse and go mining and see village drama and experience alcoholism and homelessness and PTSD. They have everything in this game. You get to marry beautiful people like Elliot. I love Elliot. And if you're really lead at the game, like me and my fiance, I love saying that. If you're really lead at the game, then you have freaking 175 kegs making starfruit wine, and you pick them all up and then you sell them all and you make $500,000 in a day. We've put a lot of hours into this game, okay? We've played a lot. We beat the game. We have a freaking golden clock. Do you got a golden clock in Stardew Valley? I don't think so, bitch. It is 350,000 degrees in this room. Then, on May 14th, 2024, I think, Concerned Ape released the Stardew Valley cookbook. And when I tell you that me and Ben were so excited for this, oh my God, we're like, we get to cook the shit from the game? Sign me up. Sign me up. I will be a chef. I will be a chef. I don't know how to cook, but I will do it. I will do it for Stardew Valley. So we decided to cook Stardew Valley meals. We made 5 meals, and well, we made 3 meals, and no, we made 4 meals, a dessert, and a drink. And today, I'm going to take you on the journey of us making this. I want you all to buy this cookbook, so I'm not going to tell you measurements or really like, you know, in-depth steps. I'll just kind of keep it kind of basic because I want Eric to get this money, okay? I don't want you to just make these recipes from here. I want you to buy the cookbook and do it. So do that. Support him. Let's frickin' cook. Tell you that I'm sweating. It is so hot in this room. A cat's meowing. Hold on. Come on. Trixie has arrived. So, night 1. We started off by making a drink because we wanted to have a fun little drink while we cooked our dinner. So we made ginger ale. In the game, you get ginger ale from purchasing the recipe at the dwarf shop in the volcano dungeon on Ginger Island. Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Can you say hi to Cameron too?
Hi, Cam. Oh my God. In the game, it takes 3 pieces of ginger and 1 sugar to make. The ginger ale in real life contains ginger, limes, sugar, honey, seltzer water.
We have a kitty in the kitchen.
We have a kitty in the kitchen. Oh, look at this little boy.
Welcome to our kitchen. We have mics now. We have
real microphones.
We have like lav mics.
Professional.
$20 Amazon lav mics. And we have 2 camera angles.
Yep, bougie.
Whoa.
So I started off by slicing up half a piece of this ginger. Then I zested an entire lime. And then we put the ginger and the lime zest into a pot with some sugar and some honey.
How much honey? A third of a cup. Cheese and rice.
Cheese and rice.
Slowly bring to a low simmer, stirring occasionally. 15 to 25 minutes?
What the fuck? Shit, we're starting this before
Could
dinner.
you, like, rinse this out?
Folks, it is 6:15. We haven't eaten dinner yet. And I'm fucking starving. Okay, so you want me to get a little action of stirring?
I gotta
cut back
pee.
to
I
it?
just stirred it like 55 times.
I like stirring. I like to be the stirrer of the relationship. I don't know, when we're making food, I enjoy
Yeah, you like to
stirring things.
stir the pot in this relationship.
Oh, true that.
We'll do 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
This says 15 to 25 minutes. It's so dramatic.
Well, I think it's to see how it is.
It's like 10 minutes.
And are we gonna like strain this? Is that the goal after?
I have no idea. I don't like to read ahead. I like the surprise.
So at this point, we started to realize that since these are homemade meals, they take a really long time. So we let that simmer, and then while we let it simmer, we started our pepper poppers. You get pepper poppers when you reach 3 hearts with Shane. He sends you the recipe in the mail. And in the game, it takes 1 hot pepper and 1 cheese. The buffs that this recipe gives you is +2 farming and +1 speed. So the pepper poppers consisted of peppers, oil, salt, cream cheese, mayonnaise, cheese, jalapenos, scallions, garlic, cayenne pepper, cornflakes, butter, pepper.
Could I get tinfoil, please?
Tin foil?
Yeah, that's fine. Can you put
wait
it
till you
on the
get there.
baking sheet, honey?
What? Oh, the lemon part. Okay. Sorry.
Listen, people, you're gonna learn. Ben's about as useful as a bump on a log, okay?
Hey, that's rude. Okay. Hopefully that part didn't get picked up from the tinfoil.
Ben's about as useful as a bump on a log.
That's rude. Okay, that's rude. Look at this. I'm putting the tinfoil on very nicely, like Catherine asked me to.
I appreciate
And
it.
I did it immediately. She actually didn't even have to ask me. Crazy. I don't know. I just see those peppers, and I think of the scene from the Scooby-Doo movie when they eat the peppers out of the jar.
Wimp, oh, you think you can handle it? Why don't you put your mouth where your mouth is? No. Okay. Hello.
All right, we have to brush them all over with olive oil. Brush them? No. We're just gonna drizzle them. What do I look like, a hairdresser?
Don't we have a little brush?
Yeah, I know, but then I have to wash another dish. Here's what we'll do. Look, I drizzled them, and then now we'll kind of
Oh.
fondle them a little bit. We'll just kind of like fondle the peppers. Cause it's you and me and all of the people, and I don't know why.
So then in a bowl, we started to make the stuffing for the peppers. So we started with cream cheese, 6 ounces.
Ounces? What? Who measures in ounces, bro?
What are we in freaking Europe?
Literally,
You know what I mean,
bro.
like,
I'm in America.
give it to me in freaking scoops. I just want to know how many
Give it
scoops.
to me in scoops.
Just tell me ounces and all these made-up measurements.
How about you tell me like cups? I don't run on your metric system. Are ounces a metric system?
I don't know.
Then we added mayonnaise, and then we grated up some pepper jack cheese. And then we diced up some pickled jalapeno slices. It said like 4 slices. I love jalapenos, so I did like that many. And then Ben, our resident sous chef, sliced up our scallion. We had the whites and the greens separated at first because I thought that's what the recipe said, but it actually said whites and greens together, so we do end up combining them. Then I grated a clove of garlic, and then I added cayenne pepper. It's supposed to be paprika. I thought I had paprika. We did not have paprika, so we did cayenne pepper instead. Then I mixed this all together. I will say I would probably leave the cream cheese sitting out a little bit longer than I did because it was kind of hard to mix, and if it had softened a little bit, it'd probably be a lot easier.
Peppers.
Then we crushed up our cornflakes, and then we added some melted butter to it and tossed it around to coat the cornflakes.
Okay, I don't know why I'm cutting these like Kylie Jenner cutting a cucumber.
And then it was time to cut our peppers. So they did actually go in the oven for a little bit to like roast and soften up. So once they came out of the oven, then we cut them into half slices and then filled them with our stuffing. And then once we topped them with the cornflakes, then they were ready and we put them in the oven. And then we returned to our ginger ale. So once it was done simmering, we grated up some more of the ginger into a bowl, and I also sliced my limes, as you can see. I added the grated ginger into the simmered mixture and stirred that all together. And then we poured it into a strainer so we could strain out the liquid and leave all the chunky bits behind. And then we kind of like squeezed it out with the spoon. I don't know, there may have been a better way to do this, but I didn't find that way. So then we poured a bit of the ginger mixture into each glass. I will say we did way too much. I would do way less and more water because it was very gingery. And then we added some ice cubes, and then we topped it off with plain seltzer water.
All right, here's the taste
We
test.
got our ginger ale.
Cheers. It looks nice. It has a nice color to it too,
Cheers
honestly.
me.
Sorry.
Honestly, that's really good.
It's not bad. It's a little intense on the ginger for me. I'm used to the artificial
I
ass
love
flavor.
ginger. All right.
I don't mind it, but it's not my favorite.
What's your rating on the ginger ale out of 10?
So if I liked ginger more, I think it'd be a higher rating. So I'm just gonna give it a flat 7 because I think it's good. It's got a good natural.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, where I'm going, I guess me's probably like a 5. But if I liked ginger, I'd give it like a
Okay.
7. I guess is
Okay,
how I should
I was
have
gonna
phrased
give
that.
it like an 8, 8.5.
Can you give your ginger ale update, because you wanted to update that?
I think I put too much of the.
Yeah, I said
Ginger
that, but
ale,
you gave it like
ginger.
a 7, and you said you wanted to lower it.
It should probably be like a 5.
Okay.
It's not bad. I would want to try it again though with less ginger ale stuff, whatever. I don't
Okay.
know what you call that. I don't really like
yeah,
ginger
like the
is my
ginger
issue.
concentrate stuff.
And I've been on more of a healthy kick, and now this is like a healthy natural thing, and I'm used to like the fake one.
The Schweppes.
Yeah,
So then we returned to our pepper poppers because they were out of the oven. So we removed those from the oven, and they looked melty and delicious. Look at those things. And then we plated them, and then it was time to eat.
These look delish.
I'm gonna start with the red boy.
I'm gonna start with the red boy too, and I'm gonna
I
try it by
forgot to-
hand.
yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
try by
tiny
hand.
boys, so I can kind of start.
I just got a kicked one.
Those red boys are spicy.
Yeah, they are.
I really do feel like the scene from Scooby Doo.
Would
This is an
make these
easy
again.
8.5 out of 10.
I would agree.
Easy.
Easy dub. These are delicious.
These red peppers ones are goddamn spicy. I think I'd like it more. I think I'd give it a 9.
Well, maybe next time we'll just do the green ones. I think I'm gonna tap on this last red one and just eat the stuffing. But I made it further than Ben. He has 3 red ones left.
Scooby.
Say hi. You have nothing to say? She's like, don't point that mic at me. She's like, get that thing away from me. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Get that thing away from me, you guys.
The pepper poppers, though, 10 out of 10 recommend. Overall, despite the spicy red peppers, would recommend them. They were fantabulous. Day 2, breakfast. We decided to do a little brunch, so we made farmer's lunch. In the game comes from reaching farming level 3, and it takes 1 omelet and 1 parsnip to make, and an omelet takes 1 egg and 1 milk to make, and then you Combine that with a parsnip, and then you get farmer's lunch. The farmer's lunch contained, in real life, eggs, milk, butter, salt and pepper, cheese, chives and tarragon, parsnips, oil, maple syrup, baby arugula. First, we peeled our parsnips. I have never cooked with parsnips before. I don't know nothing about parsnips. So I peeled them and then we diced them up into little bite-sized little chunks. I added them to a bowl and added some olive oil to them and some maple syrup. Then we put these onto a cookie sheet or baking sheet. I don't know. What do you call it? Cookie sheet or baking sheet? Comment down below. And then we roasted these in the oven for some amount of time. I don't remember how long because it's been like 2 weeks since I cooked these. So then we started our omelets. So we separated our whites and our yolks. And then it was time to whip our egg whites. The recipe said to do this with an electric mixer. I don't own an electric mixer, okay, people? So we had to do this by hand. And when I tell you that this was so tiring and our arms were sore for like 2 days after this, we did this for like 15 minutes.
She's definitely smoking me, but that's okay.
What?
Said she's definitely smoking me.
Yeah. So what we're looking for is like when we pick it up, the peaks like stay.
Okay.
Lesson learned. If we make this again, we will be buying an electric mixer. So then we added our milk to the egg yolks and then whipped those for much less time. And then we combined the two together and gently folded them together.
Look at
I'm
the
like cheeked up on camera, dude, unintentionally.
to-do list. Your mom.
Boom! Roasted.
All right.
Meredith,
so
so many guys should be beginning to look like one. Boom, roasted.
I think it's supposed to look like something. I think it says like do it once the edges are set, but the middle's still wet or something like that.
So then it was time to make our lovely omelets. So we scooped our fluffy egg mixture into the pan. And Ben did this part because we love Ben. And then after a little bit of them sitting like that, then we have to cover them.
How much arugula?
Arugula, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take
1.5 cups. Arugula, Jamaica, arugula, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take a look.
And then it was time to uncover them and look at that beautiful, fluffy omelet. And we added in our Gruyere cheese. And then, meanwhile, our parsnips had finished roasting. We added the arugula to it and tossed that all together. This is our side for our omelet. And then here is Ben putting our lovely chives and tarragon onto the omelet. And we essentially just repeated that same process for the other omelet. And then it was time to eat. Oh, and we folded it in half. I forgot about that. After he put the herbies on it, we folded it in half.
Off rip, just... Yeah, that arugula's got a fucking smell to it, but I think I just don't like the smell of it. You're gonna learn this video, I'm just picky, I think.
It's fluffy. I've never really had a fluffy omelet.
It's a great consistency. I guess my issue is it's just kind of plain.
Yeah.
For me personally, this one is not really it.
I definitely liked the peppers more.
I'd give this a solid 5 out of 10.
I give this just 6.5.
It's just plain. If there's more to it, the almond doesn't taste bad, but it's just boring. And then the arugula, I just don't like. So
I would make this again, but maybe put more things in the omelet.
Honestly, I didn't mind this. I thought it was yummy. If I were to do this again, I would add more stuff to the omelet. It was kind of plain and kind of bland. It was really cool to make an omelet that way. I would also get an electric hand mixer because goddamn, I'm not doing that again. Overall, not bad. So then it was lunchtime. We made Lucky lunch. You get this recipe from the Queen of Sauce, Spring 28 Year 2. And it takes a sea cucumber, a tortilla, and blue jazz, a flour, to make. And Lucky Lunch contains, in real life, limes, salt, shrimp, oil, sugar, garlic, onion, jalapenos, cucumber, tomatoes, tortillas, avocado, chives, cilantro, lettuce. So we started off by washing and shelling our little shrimpies, and you will see in this lovely clip how much faster Catherine is at doing it than Ben is. I'm a shrimp deshelling wizard. And while we did this, we set a pot of water boiling, and then once it boiled, then we added in lime juice and salt. And then, of course, our lovely shrimpies. I've never cooked shrimp this way. This was very interesting. So you like add the shrimp and then you like cover it and turn off the heat and then they like cook. I don't know. It was like magic. So while our little shrimpies cooked, we started in on our ceviche. So we like diced up, I have this fancy little garlic dicer. So we diced up some garlic and then diced up like half of a red onion. Why do they call it a red onion? It's purple. That is purple. Half of a purple onion. And then we diced up a cucumber. And then we did little cherry tomatoes, which I like quartered or halved, depending on how big they were. Then we added some olive oil and some sugar. And then diced up some pickled jalapenos. This was supposed to be actual jalapenos, not pickled, but I didn't realize that, and I used all the jalapenos for the pepper poppers. So we had to use some pickled ones that I had in the fridge. And then once our shrimp was done cooking, then we diced up our little shrimpies and added them into our ceviche. And then there it is. Look how beautiful it is. So the ceviche had to sit in the fridge for like 4 hours. So while we were waiting on that, we cut our star tortillas. They said use a template. I just freeballed it. And it started off a little bit rough. And I instantly was like, why did I not make a template? That would have been really smart, Catherine.
I'm not an artist. How many points does a star have?
It's fine, honey. Look here. Look at your example. Why are you just freeballing fully?
It's bad.
Do you want me to try?
Yeah, you try one. Yours isn't terrible.
Mine's like an asterisk, so I was going for the Sunday logo, like the little asterisk.
Eventually, we did find a little bit of a rhythm, and I did find a little technique to do it by making like the little points of the star and then connecting them. But we had some rough stars.
We have 6 stars. We have 5 stars, and we have Ben's thing.
Here are all of our beautiful stars. I also, so as not to waste them, I took the like extra pieces of tortilla that were not part of the stars and just roasted those two. And then we brushed them all with olive oil, and then we roasted them, toasted them.
We have Chip.
We have Chip.
We have Chip.
Big Chip.
And asterisk.
It's an avocado. Thanks.
I feel like you were gonna say something along those lines.
It's a vine. You wouldn't get it.
Oh, I've seen the vine.
No. I just don't think you'll get it because it's like a vine. So.
Oh.
With a spoon?
Oh, look at that. That's clean.
This is not my first avocado rodeo.
No shit.
Here.
Holy fork.
Look at that.
Bubba, that was very clean.
And then then we do like this.
Yes,
you
I
twist.
thought. Ah, look at that.
Pops right out.
Guys, this is not Catherine's first
Listen,
avocado.
Catherine's eaten a lot of avocados, okay, people? I freaking love an avocado.
So we diced up an avocado. We sliced up some chives. The cilantro that I got was already pre-diced, so that was easy enough. And then we plated our bed of lettuce with ceviche on it and the chips. And it's time to eat.
Start from, but I think I'm just gonna like crack
I'm
off
just gonna
little.
take a little bite. I feel lucky already.
I can feel the spirits.
Mmm. This is my favorite one so far.
It's not actually the same. I think this is better than pepper poppers.
Yeah,
I don't
I would
know.
agree. The pepper poppers were really, really good, but
Yeah. It's up there. What would you give it? Because I'm kind of...
this, I'd give this like a 9.
I was thinking 8.5.
So the Lucky Lunch, honestly, no notes. Great. I freaking loved it. It was so delicious. Such a good summertime meal. It was honestly not that difficult to make. It took a really long time because you had to make the ceviche and then let it sit in the fridge for like 4 hours. But the actual making of it and the making of the chips and stuff, not that difficult. But if you were gonna make this, I would like maybe do it the day before. Like if you know you want to have it on Saturday, make the ceviche Friday night, put it in the fridge, and then you can whip up the rest on Saturday. So that took a lot longer than we anticipated, so we didn't really have dinner that night, because we didn't end up eating that till like 4 p.m. But what we did make was some dessert. We made cookies, and cookies come from Evelyn, the sweet grandma in town. After you see her 4-heart event, she will send you a recipe in the mail to make cookies. In the game, they take wheat flour, sugar, and eggs to make. So the cookies, IRL, were much more complicated to make. And they contained butter, oats, flour, baking soda, salt, brown sugar, egg yolk, vanilla extract, chocolate chips.
Let's make some motherfucking cookies.
Let's make some motherfucking cookies.
We started off by melting a stick and a half of butter until it started to brown, which, look at that browned butter.
That definitely smells like nuts.
It smells like my nuts, kind of.
So we poured that into a big old mixing bowl. And then while we waited for our butter to cool, we put our oats into a blender and blended them up. To our oats, we then added flour, baking soda, salt. Then we added sugar to our now cooled melted butter, white sugar, and brown sugar. We whisked that up until it became kind of doughy, kind of like a gritty, nasty dough. This recipe was Ben's recipe, by the way. He did pretty much this entire thing by himself. Then to our gritty mixture, we added our full egg and our 1 separated egg yolk and vanilla extract. And we whipped that up, which now is becoming more cookie batter like. It's a little bit smoother. So then we added our dry ingredients to that doughy mixture. Ben is a very tactical baker, so he spread it around the top because I guess that helps it mix better. I think that's a Benism. And then he gently folded that with a spatula to make our dough. I was a little bit concerned at this point because it's very, very floury and very dry. It looks like so much flour, like that is essentially just like white, and I was like, oh my god, we ruined it. But have faith in the process, people. Trust the cookie process, because look, it turned out like that. It's so beautiful. Then we added the chocolate chips again. Ben with his Benisms folds in a little bit of chocolate chips at a time. Let him cook, people, okay? Let him cook.
Want to go first?
Okay. Sure. That's some damn good cookie dough.
It's some really damn good cookie dough. Holy shit.
So then our dough had to sit in the fridge for some amount of time. I don't remember how long. So we put it in the fridge along with this baby arugula. And Charlie's here. Hi, Charlie. Could he just not be the Meow Mix kitty? Like, am I kidding? Are you kidding me? Look at that cat. He could be a model. He could be a cat model. I'm obsessed with him. So then we had to put parchment paper on the baking sheet, and I hate parchment paper. It's the bane of my existence. Look at how I freaking got this. if anyone has a tool or a tip or a trick or some sort of gadget on Amazon that will help wrangle parchment paper or just make it so I don't have to use it altogether, please help me. Sound off in the comments anything with parchment paper. I cut this thing. There's a chunk. Look at all that wasted parchment paper. What are you supposed to do? It's so big and cumbersome and it rolls up and it's just terrible. I hate parchment paper. And then Ben scooped our cookies onto the parchment paper and goddamn was he making ginormous cookies. So I made him make them smaller because I was like, Ben, those are gonna like spread out and become monsters. And there they are. Look at how beautiful our little cookies are. So then we had to put them back in the fridge to chill for a little bit longer. So we put them back in the fridge.
Wow! Are you supposed to do them on tinfoil or parchment paper?
This is parchment paper.
Okay. So,
I thought we don't use parchment paper though.
what do you mean we don't use parchment
Okay,
paper?
sorry. Earlier you said no about parchment paper or something, so sorry.
Because it doesn't stick. You can't use it
Gotcha.
to cover something.
My bad.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
that's when you go to your grandmother's house. This is grandma's cookies.
Why?
Holy shit.
Oh my god, those are so good. Okay. Listen. Those were the best freaking chocolate chip cookies I've ever eaten. They were so good. And honestly, not as difficult to make as I thought they would be. Not saying it was easy. And it took a really long time. But fantastic. We'll make again 10 out of 10. No notes for the freaking chocolate chip cookies. Everyone needs to buy this cookbook just for the chocolate chip cookie recipe. Okay? They were so good. Yes, it is a new day. This video has been nothing short of a nightmare. Anyway, on our last day, we made dinner, I guess, but it literally took us all day to make this meal because you have to make homemade dough. So we made the strange bun. The strange bun recipe in the game you get from Shane again in the mail after you reach 7 hearts. And it takes wheat flour, periwinkle, and void mayonnaise to make. You get void mayonnaise from a void chicken, lays a little void egg, you put it in the mayonnaise machine, it makes void mayonnaise. So I forgot to do the thing where I show all the ingredients and stuff, so I'll just read them to you. The strange bun is essentially like a homemade lobster roll, and then on the side you do void mayo. So in the game it takes void mayo to make a strange bun. In real life the void mayo is like a dipping sauce for the strange bun. So the strange bun contains milk, bread flour, unsalted butter, malted milk powder, brown sugar, salt, instant yeast, buttermilk, eggs, regular flour, lobsters, salted butter, pepper, sage, lemon zest, garlic cloves, and then the void mayo. So we started with milk in a saucepan at like low-ish heat, and then we used bread flour. I've never used bread flour before, but it's looked the same as regular flour. So we added that in. We just kind of whisked it around until it became thick and almost like mud. I don't know. It was very sludgy. And then we just removed that from the heat and poured it into a bowl and just let that sit to the side to cool. And while it cooled, in a bowl, we added our malted milk powder and some brown sugar and salt. And then I just did 1 packet of instant yeast and then some buttermilk. I've never used buttermilk before. It was very thick. And 1 egg. And then we whisked that all together. So then we added in more of our bread flour to this, as well as some regular flour. And then to top it off, we added in our milk and bread flour sludgy mixture that we made earlier. And then stirred this together with the spatula. Just like with the cookies, I was like, oh my god, this is so much flour. It's so dry. but it did say that that's fine. Like there will be some like dried flour left, but I was like, ooh, some, like this is essentially just flour. But we just mixed that for a while until it combined.
What is this supposed to look like? Is this what it's supposed to look like? It's very chunky. Resembling a very shaggy dough. There will be a good amount of flour at the bottom of the bowl, and that is okay as long as the mixture is no longer wet. Okay.
So once it was mostly combined, then I started going in with my hands and kneading it into a dough. It looks horrid. It was so like just dry, and like it wasn't combining into one solid thing, but I just kept on working at it. Eventually it got its shit together. So after a few minutes, we did end up with a better looking ball of dough. So then we had to do 3 tablespoons of butter mixed into it, but only a tablespoon at a time. So like I took a tablespoon and then just started working it in there and softening it, like warming it with my hands and working the butter in, and then I did that 2 more times for 2 more tablespoons of butter, and we ended up with a beautiful looking ball of dough. So then I took my ball of dough, and I had already taken butter and greased a large mixing bowl. So I put my ball in and rolled it around to just kind of grease up the sides of the ball so that it doesn't stick to the sides of the bowl. And then we let that sit in the bowl at room temperature. I just kind of loosely covered it with tin foil, and we let that sit for a while to let it rise.
So excited.
Drum roll, please. I can't do my own drum roll and pull it off. Oh!
It's so big!
I punched it. It was so anticlimactic. I thought it was going to be like, and it was not. It just didn't really do anything.
I don't know.
What does it say?
I don't know. It just says shape it into a rectangle.
Okay.
How's that? Does that kind of look like a rectangle?
Yeah, it's a very circular rectangle, but it still works. Deflate the dough and gently divide the
that.
dough into 6 equal pieces.
I did
Use
that.
your hands to roll each piece into a 16-inch thick rope.
16-inch thick?
Sorry. Into a 16-inch rope about 1 inch thick.
Okay, thank you.
About a half an inch thick, I apologize. I can't
Okay,
read.
so how many inches thick?
So it's, let me reread this. You asked what the instructions are? So it says use...
Ben tries to make it that Kathy's going to cut to a different cut. Yeah, right.
Oh, here are the instructions. Use your hands to roll each piece into a 16-inch, 40 centimeter rope about a half an inch, 1.3 centimeter thick.
Okay.
To make our buns, we would roll one of the 6 sections out into a long, skinny rope and then kind of twist it up into like a little bun shape. I completely messed this up because I was making it like with a hole in the center because we're gonna like stuff it with the lobster. We were supposed to make it into an enclosed thing, and then we cut the hole later. I did not realize this, but I do end up fixing them later. But it looks really cute. So then we put our buns into muffin tins, and then we just repeated this 5 more times. And then there are our 6 beautiful buns. Well, not quite beautiful because they aren't supposed to look like that, but it was like stick wooden dowels into them to like hold their shape. And I was like, hold their shape? Like they're fine. And that's when I realized that we were supposed to tuck the ends into the top and make them like enclosed twisted buns, and then stick the dowels in to like hold them together. So I did fix them here. And there they are, our beautiful buns. Now they look beautiful. I was so proud of these things. I've only made like homemade dough one time, and I think I did pretty good. So we let them rise, and then they were huge. So after they rose for a while, we made an egg wash by just cracking an egg into a bowl and whisking it up. And then we brushed the buns all over with our egg wash. And then it was time to bake them. So while our buns were baking, we cooked our lobsters. Trigger warning, we are going to kill some lobsters here. Look away if you don't want to see that. So we boiled a big pot of water, and Ben and I are not good at the lobsters.
Yeah, see, like, he gets mad at me.
I feel like you should just like dump them in.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I think you're supposed to like grab the tail. Oh my god, Ben.
Okay, drop it, and then put the cover on. Put the cover on. Sorry, buddy.
Listen, I've been eating lobsters since I was a very small child, and I've watched my parents make lobsters so many times, and my dad just always like grabs them and drops them in. I don't know, they start moving and it freaks me out. This pot boiled over so much. We didn't really think about this.
Okay, what do I do? Turn it down? It's overflowing, Catherine.
Just give it a minute. Calm down.
I turned it down a little.
So we're gonna just kind of make a wall of towels.
What if it's like this? Is that crazy? Look at.
Look it, it's boiling over. Transferred the lobsters directly to the ice bath to cool.
Oh.
Oh no.
Alright, well, you gotta help me with this.
There we go.
It's a lot easier when they're not moving.
He says as he drops, huh?
So once our lobsters were cooked and had cooled in their ice bath for a little bit, it was time to get all the meat out. Again, I have been eating lobsters for probably 23 years, and I'm usually pretty good about getting the lobster meat out. But I will say I've never, after taking them out of the pot, put them in an ice bath and then tried to get the meat out. I wonder if cooling them made it harder. Because I'm usually like, you take it out of the pot and like put it on a plate and like it's steaming hot and you do the meat. So I wonder if that's why we struggled so much. Once all of our lobster meat was removed from the lobsters, then Ben diced it all up into little chunks. So while Ben finished getting the meat out of the lobsters and chopped up all the lobster meat, I started to make the void mayo.
Like I deserve.
Use the back of to smash the garlic. So like,
What? What's wrong, baby?
oh! Holy
Don't you normally like cut it first, then take the
It
garlic
said
out?
use the back of the knife to smash
Yeah, but
it.
you smash it like that.
Yeah.
But you don't do it with the
Whoa.
skin on there. Treat it like it's regular garlic, and then
It's squishy though.
is regular garlic not the squishy?
No, feel a regular clove of garlic over there next to the lemon. That is not squishy.
Yeah, but I feel like I can bust this thing open.
So I started by crushing up 5 cloves of black garlic.
Okay. Now it looks like I just shit there.
Catherine shitted on the freaking cutting
Sorry,
board.
shit on the cutting board, guys.
To another bowl, I added this black charcoal powder and then juiced, I think, 2 or 3 wedges of lemon. I whisked that together until the charcoal powder dissolved. So then I added 1 single egg yolk and some Dijon mustard. I couldn't get it out of this measuring spoon, so I just used my finger. I added some salt and then whisked this all together. So then, while constantly whisking this mixture, I added olive oil to it, and I had to start by like adding just a couple little drops and then slowly adding like more and more each time I added some in, and then literally whisking it constantly. So this ended up creating it kind of thickened it up. So once I finished adding all of my oil, then I did some more lemon juice and added in the black garlic and then mixed that all together. At this point, it's very, very gray looking. It was definitely blacker in person, but adding in the black garlic did bring back some dark color to it, but it was more brown than black. So our buns were out of the oven, so we then struggled and fought to get them out of the muffin tins. I did grease them, but they had gotten so huge that it was so hard to like get in between them and pry them out of the little muffin tin. Also, it was freshly out of the oven, so both the buns and the tin were burning hot. So once I got them all out, then it was time to cut the tops off and then kind of hollow out the middle with my fingers. There was enough space to put the lobsters in. So then, of course, we ate the top bits that I cut off. And when I tell you this was the best bread I've ever eaten, I will make this again just like these for like dinner, like rolls with butter. They are so good. It was so fluffy and light and like sweet, but oh, it was the best bread I've ever had. We had to make our filling. So we melted some butter in a saucepan on the stove. Don't ask me what I'm doing here. I don't know why I'm cutting it up. And then once the butter melted, we added in garlic and lemon zest and sage, I believe. Yes, sage. And we stirred that up for a little bit before finally adding our chopped up lobster meat. And once it was warm and coated, then we just used a spoon and filled our buns with lobster. Oh, and I put the void mayo into a bowl, as you can see in the back there. It looks like diarrhea in a bowl. And then once they were ready, then we drizzled, so there was still like buttery goodness left in the bottom of the pot. So we just kind of drizzled that all over the buns and the lobster. And yes, it's butter. What more could you want? And then it's time to eat. And we grab a bun and we go to town.
Let's start this. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, folks.
As expected, this was like the greatest thing I've ever eaten.
Oh, yeah.
So
Awesome.
wait, I'm gonna try it with the mayonnaise. Cheers. Okay, I kind of put a lot on. Oh, so the mayonnaise on the bread is pretty good.
So overall, I think these for me are also, I'm going to give them a 9.5 out of 10. I would say a 10 out of 10, but the void mayonnaise is just, I don't know, it's not bad. The creativity of it being black mayonnaise is really cool, but like,
It's not really black.
yeah, and it just doesn't taste good in my opinion. But these are delicious. Now, this bread's a 10 out of 10.
So the strange bun, this was probably my favorite thing that we made. It was so good. I mean, it's a lobster roll. It's a homemade lobster roll. Like, what more could you want? It was delicious. The void mayo, Ben did not like the void mayo. I thought it was okay. It was a little bit strange with the lobster roll. Like, I bet I could find something better to like make it or dip in it. So that concludes all of our food that we made or attempted to make. I actually think we did pretty well for not being chefs. I don't want to hear anything in the comments. Don't say anything about everything we screwed up and everything we did wrong. If you want a part 2 of this, and we'll make more recipes from this cookbook, please let me know, because this was super fun. Beside the fact that getting the footage on my computer and editing this video was a nightmare. The cooking part was really fun, and I will definitely do this again if anyone wants me to. I know this video has been crazy long, so I'm not going to keep on talking. Thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, I'm impressed. Please like this video, comment down below which recipe looked really good. Are you going to get this cookbook? And subscribe. I hope you all have a lovely day. It is hot, so go swimming, enjoy the summer, and I will see you all next time.